This is the employer's voice.
South Africa has a jobs crisis. Millions of people have no work and no real chance of getting any. And the government's response is a 100 billion rand transformation fund that will not create a single job. I'm Gerhard Papenfus, Chief Executive of NEASA. Today I want to tell you what these proposed BEE amendments actually mean for your business, and why you cannot afford to ignore them. Last year, President Ramaphosa used the State of the Nation address to announce the so-called Transformation Fund. During January 2026, the Department of Trade and Industry published draft amendments to the BEE codes. Those drafts do two things. They create the Transformation Fund and they make the procurement scorecard much more stringent. Here is how the fund works. Business would be asked to allocate 3% of their annual profit after tax into a government-run fund. In exchange, they get up to 20 points on their BEE scorecard. These are points that companies currently earn by investing in their own empowered suppliers directly, building relationships, developing real businesses in their own value chains. Under this proposal, you hand the money to the state. You have no say in where it goes, no say in who gets it, no way to measure what it achieves. That is not empowerment. That is a tax. The fund is only half the problem. The changes to the procurement scorecard may be worse. The drafts place most of the emphasis on buying from 100% black-owned businesses. When you read all the targets together, they effectively require every significant purchase to come from suppliers who have more than 51% black ownership. Think about what that means in practice. A procurement manager is told, hit these numbers or fail your scorecard. So what does that manager do? They go to their suppliers and say, restructure your ownership or we drop you. That is not inclusion. That is forcing businesses to rewrite their supply chains based on who owns what, not who does the best work at the best price. And the targets simply cannot be met. There are not enough qualifying suppliers in the market. You cannot manufacture them overnight. So what happens instead? Companies find ways to make the numbers look right on paper. Shell companies, middlemen, fronting, the exact behavior the law is supposed to stop. These targets are not ambitious, they are impossible. And when targets are impossible, compliance becomes fiction and circumvention becomes the norm. Three things will follow if these drafts become law. Firstly, the supplier base shrinks. Procurement teams will cut suppliers that are currently considered to be empowered, but do not fit the new ownership requirements. Good, competitive companies will lose contracts they've held for years. Many will downsize or shut down. Secondly, middlemen multiply. Impossible targets create a market for people who promise to make the paperwork possible. Costs go up. Value goes down. The problem gets worse, not better. Thirdly, investment leaves. When investors look at South Africa and see rules that keep changing, targets that can't be met, and a government that keeps tightening the screws, they take their money somewhere else. That means fewer jobs, not more. NEASA has formally rejected these proposals in its entirety. We are not asking for small changes to a broken system. BEE has had decades to deliver economic growth. It has failed to do that. pouring 100 billion rand into a new state fund run by the same government that gave us load shedding, collapsed municipalities and looted state enterprises will not fix that. This fund has no transparency, no accountability, no direct link between the money coming in and the people who are supposed to benefit. What it does have is politically connected people ready to help themselves. This is not speculation. It is history repeating itself. We say it plainly, this is not reform. This is expropriation through a spreadsheet. There is a term for policies that deliberately destroy the economic participation of a group of people. We are not supposed to say it. But when you systematically exclude entire communities from competing, from building, from owning, when the law itself becomes the instrument of economic destruction, you have to call it out for what it is. This is economic genocide. It is being done with a spreadsheet instead of a weapon. But the outcome is the same. A group of people locked out of their own economy by their own government. The real answers are not complicated. Fix electricity. Fix the roads and ports. Clean up government procurement. Make it easier to start and grow a business. Reward job creation. That is how you build the economy. Not by telling companies who they are allowed to buy from. The solution is simple. Scrap the fund. Drop the race-based legislation. Reward performance, not ownership. And cut the compliance burden so business can focus on growing. This is not going away on its own. When government finds out it can force a business to comply with impossible targets, it does not stop. It comes back with more. More sector codes, more demands, more of your money ending up in the hands of people who have no stake in whether your business succeeds. NEASA is exposing this for what it really is and will continue to do so. We submitted our formal rejection of these proposals. We will not let this go quietly, but we need numbers. We need employers standing together. If you are not a NEASA member yet, join today, not eventually, today, because when the rules get gazetted, it becomes much harder to push back. Your business is worth protecting. I'm Gerhard Papenfus, and this is the Employer's Voice.